This is the first of the bigger books in the series. What are the chances? I've obviously completely lost track of what I was saying. I literally just dropped it on the floor and it went with a very big bang. Finished. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel and another vlog in the Harry Potter reading series. Before you get into this video, if you haven't seen any of my previous reading vlogs, I am currently reading the Harry Potter series for the very first time. And in today's reading vlog, we are going to be reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If you haven't seen any of the reading vlogs so far, there has actually been 3. One for each of the first 3 books in the series, one for Philosopher's Stone, one for Chamber of Secrets, and one for Prisoner of Azkaban. But today's reading vlog is going to be Goblet of Fire, and I'm going to start by giving you my thoughts before going into reading this book, and then we'll get into the vlog. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is the first book in this series that actually intimidates me a little bit. Something you should know about me and my typical reading habits is I go for your standard books. I am very much a between 300 and 400 pages kind of gal. This book is definitely not between 300 and 400 pages. It actually stands at 617 pages. This potentially could be the longest book I've ever read in my life so far, because we do have an even bigger one coming up. So I am having to face my big book fear, and I am having to kind of reassure myself that it's all going to be fine. A little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the other reading vlogs, I've actually had a really positive experience reading the beginning of this series, so I am going into reading this book in a very positive light, so that's obviously helpful. When I originally decided that I was going to read this series, I asked on my Instagram story which book in the series was people's favourites. One of my friends actually said that Goblet of Fire was their favourite book in the Harry Potter series, so that also intrigues me with this reading vlog. And even though it's a bigger book and I am a little bit intimidated by the size, I am very intrigued as to what's going to happen in it. Also, I really love the cover of this book. The only sad thing is I've noticed on a couple of the books in the box set that I have actually have ink stains on them. It does seem to fade the more that I rub it, so I'm hoping I can get it off. I'm going to let you get into the clips of me reading now, and I will come back to you at the end of this video to tell you all of my thoughts. You could see the mess that is around me because I've just been filming some intros and outros for these reading vlogs, and I've just filmed the intro for this reading vlog that you're watching right now, so you will notice that I look exactly the same as I did in the intro. I did actually start reading Goblet of Fire last night, but for the next week I am actually going to be stopping at my dad's house, which is the other room that you typically see me in. He asked me to help look after the cats because my dad recently had surgery as I'm filming this vlog. So he asked me to help him look after the cats for the next week. So I'm actually going to be stopping there. This is the first of the bigger books in the series, and I'm a little intimidated by that, but I'm also a little bit conflicted of how my reading's going to go for this book in terms of how long it's going to take me to read it, because as I'm filming this today, the Olympics actually starts, and the events in the first week are the events that I like to watch the most, which is the swimming. So that may also have an effect on my reading experience because I'm going to be flicking my attention between the two. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how my reading's going to go for the next week, but I'll keep you updated in the reading vlog, obviously. So this isn't technically to do with reading, but it fits in ever so slightly, so I just thought I would put it into this vlog. This week, as I'm filming this clip, the Olympics has just started. Today is the first day of the events. Is that deodorant or perfume or something? I bought a TV guide so that I could look at what event was on at what time. I know obviously you can just look at it on the TV, but this is just easier. It's how my brain works. I'll just have a look at the other channels and see if there's something on the other channels. So I'm looking and I was like, nope, there's nothing on the other channels to do with the Olympics, and then something caught my eye. Today at 4 o'clock, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is on. And then tomorrow at 5:05, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is on. What are the chances? This coming week, for some reason, there's only those 2 films on. Don't know why the others aren't on. Maybe they're going to be on next week, I don't know. What are the chances? So I just thought I would just put it into this vlog, even though it's not to do with the reading. I thought I would just put it into the vlog and mention it. And I might watch them. I don't know if I will, but because I kind of want to finish the book series before I watch the films. But the opportunity is there if I decide to take it. The lighting of this clip is probably going to be quite warm toned. They're very hot because it's actually quite late and I have the lamp on rather than the actual light, because the light in this room is so intense. So I actually have the lamp on rather than the light. And I've spent the majority of today editing reading vlogs. I'm currently uploading the Chamber of Secrets reading vlog, and also today I edited the Prisoner of Azkaban reading vlog as well. I can upload that one tomorrow. Is he like actually joking right now? 20? He's laid down on the shelf. It's almost midnight. It's too late for this, but now I feel like I should put that in frame. I've obviously completely lost track of what I was saying. I think I was on about the vlogs. As I'm filming this clip, I haven't finished reading Goblet of Fire, so I'm all caught up in terms of my editing and stuff. But whilst I'm waiting for the Chamber of Secrets reading vlog to finish uploading, I thought I would read more of this book. I feel like because we're into the bigger books now, so there's this one and Order of the Phoenix, what? Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Those are the like big guys. I feel like it kind of looks like I'm not reading much because it's obviously taking more to get through it. So I'm currently on chapter 4, which is page 34, so really not all that far, but I am going to read more of this. So I've read a couple more chapters of Goblet of Fire whilst I've been waiting for the vlog to upload, and it's just finished uploading, so I'm going to turn the computer off and I'm going to go to bed because I'm actually really tired, and we will read more of this book tomorrow when I think I'm gonna upload the Prisoner of Azkaban reading vlog, so we'll see how much we get read tomorrow. But I'm currently on chapter 6, page 56. So I started reading more of my book when I got up this morning. I'm on page 64, haven't made a lot of progress, but I was sat outside because it's so nice this morning. But I've come in here because the swimming is about to start. The swimming is one of my favourite events to watch, and the swimming's on all week this week, so I'm going to be kind of tossing back and forth between reading my book, watching the Olympics. I'm hoping it's not going to affect my reading too much. I did think that my reading was going to slow down a little bit, and it was going to take me longer to finish these books simply because they're a hell of a lot bigger. I don't think it'll affect it like all that much, because I'm still trying to read every single day, so I don't think it's going to affect it all that much. Gonna watch the swimming. I keep looking because they've just started the race. I've muted the TV while I talk to you. They've just started the race, so I'm just gonna watch this and then I'm gonna get back to reading. So I'm just reading a little bit more of my book whilst I watch the swimming, and I just want to show you my friend. So I've also got a bit of company this morning whilst I read some more of this book. I keep looking at that clock and it's stopped, so I need to stop looking at it. So a couple of points to mention about the reading that I've done this morning. We've just met Bagman and Crouch, and the Weasleys and Harry and Hermione have all gone to watch the Quidditch World Cup, which is just about to start. What else have we learnt? Oh, we've learnt about portkeys and how they kind of work. And yeah, we're making progress. I'm on page 81, chapter 8. So I'm almost at 100 pages and the storyline is starting to pick up. Something I've noticed so far in this book, it might change as it progresses, but even though it's a bigger book, what I really appreciate is the chapters in it are all very decent length. Like they're not too long, and as a chapter to chapter reader, that's quite satisfying. I did get a little bit more of this book read. I'm on page 123, so it wasn't much, but I was sat outside reading a little bit of it, and then I was sat here reading a little bit of it, and I was doing that whilst I was uploading the Prisoner of Azkaban reading vlog, and that has just finished uploading. Something that is quite clear to me as I'm getting further into this book definitely does not read like a children's book. It's obviously not complex, it's still like easy to read, easy to follow, but it does not read the same as the first two books did. The story is starting to pick up, so we've just heard of the Dark Mark, which is in relation to Voldemort. Very quickly, I'm going to mention something in this vlog that isn't to do with the Goblet of Fire book, but it's to do with these reading vlogs, so I felt like I may as well just put it in. Also, I should really care about my appearance more in these videos, but over here on my YouTube channel, I usually upload videos on a Wednesday. I don't know why, I've just uploaded on a Wednesday for a long time and it just works for me. So I was thinking about, when am I going to upload these videos? How am I going to upload them? Because if I upload them once a week, that means they're going to be uploading for 7 weeks. But if I upload them really close together, that means that I might not have read enough by the time some of these vlogs need to go up. So then I was thinking, okay, I need to work it out, like, to start scheduling these videos so that they can go up. I've currently uploaded 3, obviously, as I'm filming this. So I was like, okay, I need to work out what days they're going to be scheduled on. This happened purely by coincidence, but today as I'm filming this clip is the 28th, it's a Sunday. So I was like, okay, I can upload the Philosopher's Stone reading vlog this coming Wednesday. And this coming Wednesday is the 31st of July. Which is Harry Potter's birthday. And I just thought that was like a little strange coincidence and a little bit of Harry Potter trivia that felt like I should mention. I did not intend for that to happen. Same as I said, I've uploaded on a Wednesday for years now. Also, if I stick to uploading them once a week, the first one will be on the 31st of July. The last one will be on the 11th of September. This is if I stick to uploading them once a week on a Wednesday, which is just after my birthday. That actually works out really good for me because that gives me enough time to read these books, keep up with the vlogs. It takes me like right up to my birthday, so, or just after my birthday, so. But yeah, I just thought that was like a really strange coincidence, so I thought I would just mention it in this reading vlog, even though it's not actually to do with Goblet of Fire. So as you can probably tell from the lighting in this clip, it's a lot later now, and I am going to read for about an hour, and then I'm going to get in bed. So let's see how much we get read and what we actually get read. Something that has come to my attention whilst I've just been doing a little bit of reading is Mrs. Weasley, quite a significant member of the Weasley family. Obviously because she's the mum, but I feel like being the mum is playing a key role in these stories, because in one of the other books, Harry could hear his mother's screams, and there's talk of how his mum died for him. And then I've just read the part in this book where Mrs. Weasley is talking about Fred and George being okay, and the thing that's in her mind the most is the things that she said to them before they went to the Quidditch match, and how if anything had happened to them, that would have been her last conversation with them. So I'm getting a real feel of like the mum character, and obviously there's numerous of them. So the chapter that I've just read was them on their way back to Hogwarts. Something that I like in these books, and this is just like a personal thing, something I like in these books is whenever they go back to Hogwarts and they're going to get on the Hogwarts Express, J.K. Rowling like describes it, but she describes it in a way where like you understand how they're feeling in a sense. Yeah, and the way she describes it, I just think like makes it sound so nice randomly. But the reason that sticks out to me is obviously the Hogwarts Express is a steam train. The Hogwarts Express, a gleaming scarlet steam engine, was already there, clouds of steam billowing from it, through which the many Hogwarts students and parents on the platform appeared like dark ghosts. My granddad really liked steam trains. So growing up, my granddad always used to talk about steam trains, and especially like the Flying Scotsman and stuff. If you've never been interested in steam trains or know anyone who is, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about probably. But the more I get into this series, the more I like the fact that they get to Hogwarts via a steam train. That's quite like a nice feeling to me. According to Goodreads, we are just under a quarter of the way through, so definitely starting to make progress with this one now. No one probably cares because it has nothing to do with reading, which is what this vlog is about, but I am going to be leaving these pyjamas on all day today because it's supposedly going to be 28 degrees. It just seems like the best plan because the only other option I have is a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. But back to the reading and what this vlog is actually about. So because it's still quite early, because the weather's quite nice, there's a chair outside that is in a little patch of shade, so I'm going to go outside and I'm going to read some more of my book. I probably won't take you guys outside because there's not really anywhere to stand you, so I'll probably just update you later about what I've read. Face looks very pink. I think I've caught a little bit of sun over the past day or so whilst I've been reading my book outside, even though I haven't been sat in the sun. I am about to do some editing of some YouTube videos that I filmed, so I am going to be putting my book down for a little while whilst I do that. I could just give you an update on what I've read so far today. So I'm on chapter 15, 192, which is actually Beauxbatons and Durmstrang, which are actually two other wizarding schools that we've learnt about in this book. There's a couple of things that have occurred in this book and I've been writing them down as I've been reading so that I could tell you about them. They might come at you in a very kind of random order. One of the things is there's a new Defense Against Dark Arts teacher, which is Mad-Eye Moody, and we heard about him in this book at the beginning when they went to watch the Quidditch World Cup, but he's said that he's only going to be there for a year because he's doing them a favour or something. Something along those lines. I don't remember the specific wording of it. I had a bit of a laugh to myself at the SPEW acronym, the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare. I wrote it down so I'd remember it. A couple of the other points that I wrote down don't really relate to each other, but I feel like when I get to the end of this book, they are going to have related to each other, because there's been a couple of points in this book with what I've read so far where I've thought to myself, is someone gonna not make it out at the end of this book? The reason that I say that is because the Triwizard Tournament is coming to Hogwarts this year, and they were discussing the fact that it hasn't been held for a few years because bad things kept happening. Those are all of the points that have kind of stood out to me so far in my reading. I have updated it on Goodreads, and apparently I'm 31% of the way through, so we're on the slow approach to halfway through the book. The final point that I just wanted to mention, which isn't in relation to this book but it's in relation to the series in general, I was sat outside reading this book and someone who I knew stopped to ask me what book I was reading, and I showed them, and they actually said to me that they read them for the first time a couple of years ago, and they really enjoyed them, and we were discussing certain points from the first few books, because obviously they realised that I hadn't finished the series yet. So we were discussing a couple of points from the earlier books, and she said to me, let me know when you finish the series and we can discuss. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how many people have either engaged with the series recently or engaged with it when they were younger but are still willing to talk about it. It's like quite surprising. So I figured, because the past couple of times that I've done some reading in this reading vlog, I've kind of just read to myself and then updated you later on. I figured I would do some more reading before bed and I would update you in real time. So I'm not going to show me like reading everything that I get read tonight, but every time I get to a point that, you know, has me thinking or feeling something, I will share it with you tonight as I'm reading. So what? Why is there 4 names? I thought there was only 3. Although Harry is quite powerful, I find that he's the most powerful when he has the people around him that he needs, and the fact that he's not talking to Ron at the minute, I think makes him quite vulnerable. Tweeny tweeny. Are you coming to keep me company while I do more reading? Yeah? Yeah. It's a bit later on. I got distracted watching the Olympics. I did say this was going to happen. I'm on page 265, which is chapter 19. The Triwizard Tournament is about to begin. I have a new reading buddy. Don't I, Ginge? I think both me and Gingy are ready for bed, aren't we, Ginge? He's closing his eyes and wagging his tail, so I'm gonna read probably another chapter, maybe. Don't know where he thinks I'm gonna put my legs, but I'm probably wrong, but I feel like Hagrid's showing him the dragons so that he has a bit of a heads up, because he's already at a slight disadvantage because of being younger. Bedtime. If you are questioning my appearance, it is currently 7 AM and I've been awake since 4:30, just tossing and turning. And I just got up to give the cats their breakfast, and I thought, do you know what? I'm literally wasting time. I could be reading my book, so that's what I'm going to do now. Also, today, as I'm filming whatever clips come to you in this part of the vlog, it's the 31st of July, which is Harry Potter's birthday, and not intentionally, but it ended up being a really nice coincidence. The first reading vlog is due to go up today, so obviously it will have been up for a while when you actually see this, but it's due to go up today. It doesn't go up until 6 PM, but I'll give you some updates about that when it does go up. I'm actually a little bit nervous for them to start going up, just because reading vlogs aren't something I ever really make. As something people like, I can do more of them. But I'm going to read more of this book now. This camera battery's running out. So I'll just update you when I have something to tell you. If you're wondering as well, my reading buddy is still here. I don't know if this is going to play out for the entire Triwizard tournament, and I don't know if I'm thinking into this too much, is before the first task started, he was given some advice by someone. I'll give too much detail because if you've never read it, I don't want to ruin it for you, but basically, he had an idea of what the first task was going to be, and he'd been trying to work out how he was going to go about it, and one of the characters gave him some advice about the best way to go about it, but was basically telling him, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, you have to work it out yourself. But the advice that he was given, advice that allowed him to know that he already knew what to do, he just had to kind of realise it. Even though he had to learn something in order to complete it, the advice that he was given to kind of play to strengths that he already possessed is kind of nice when you apply that in real life, of like, you already have what you need, you just need to work out how you're going to use that to benefit you in that situation. I'm probably like thinking into it way too much, but that's how it kind of played out to me in my mind. Like, when he was getting the advice and things, it's like, oh, the advice that he's actually getting is that he already possesses everything that he needs. He just needs to know how to use it to his advantage. Because it would have been very easy to be like, you need this spell, and you need to be able to do this, and you need to be able to do that, and you need to have this type of wand, and you need to do this. But it wasn't. It was like, no, what are you good at? And use that to your advantage. So I've been reading more of this book, on and off all morning. It's now 1:15, and I'm on page 366, chapter 24. Some of the bits that I've read since the last time I spoke to you, they have been trying to figure out the message in the eggs to find out what their second task is, and Cedric Diggory just gave Harry a clue of how he can work out what the second task is. They've also just had the Yule Ball. I think is what it's called. Yep, the Yule Ball. And something that's becoming quite apparent to me, I get this feeling, so pretty much since the start of this series, Ron and Hermione have gone back and forth at one another. He doesn't like how like smart and bookish she is. He doesn't like that he's always kind of joking about her. I'm getting real kind of frenemies to lovers. I wouldn't call them enemies because they do typically get on. They're just very different people. But I am getting like frenemies to lovers vibes from them. Ron didn't want to ask Hermione because of what Hermione usually looks like. He was talking about some of the other girls and what they look like and why he didn't want to ask them. And Hermione's been described as having like bushy hair, and her teeth aren't quite right, aren't quite like straight and perfect. And he was talking about some of the other girls who he potentially could have asked, and he was talking about what they looked like, and it was kind of becoming apparent he didn't want to ask her because of what she looked like. And then she turned up to the ball and she looked rather beautiful. He is now regretting not asking her. But I get the feeling that even throughout the series, even though their bickering has got worse and worse over time, even throughout the series when they've been bickering, a lot of it is with good intention. Like, I feel like when it comes down to it, she wants the best for him, he wants the best for her. So I'm getting like frenemies to lovers. I don't think anyone was particularly happy with their Yule Ball date choices, but I am 166 pages from the end of this book. And there's part of me that's thinking I could get it finished tonight. Also, look at my little salt lamp. I feel like it really fits with the magical vibe. So we're back on the bed with my reading buddy. We're gonna try and finish this book tonight before I go to sleep. So we've got 166 pages to go. We best get started. I'm admitting defeat for the evening. I'm on chapter 30, page 490, but I am so tired that I'm gonna just have to finish this tomorrow. And I think Ginger's really anticipating me going to bed as well, because this is currently what it looks like. Is it bedtime, Gingy? Ginge? Is it bedtime? It's definitely bedtime, but tomorrow we will finish this book. Good morning. We are Charlie. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh, I'm gonna read some more of this before I go and do some of the things that I want / need to do today. So as you can see, I'm in my room because I came to do a couple of things here. I didn't actually get anything read this morning. I got completely distracted. But I've just finished doing a couple of the bits that I wanted to do, and I brought the book with me, and I thought whilst I was here I could get some more of this read. I don't know if I'll get it finished. I have a little bit of time, but yeah, I at least wanted to try and get something read, so I figured whilst I was here, whilst it was quiet, we could read some more of this book. Also, just very quickly, want to say that I am pleasantly surprised by the first 24 hours of the Philosopher's Stone reading vlog going up. The kind of interaction on it. It hasn't even been up for 24 hours yet as I'm filming this clip. Actually, I'm just thinking, I don't remember if I actually updated Goodreads yesterday when I finished reading. I don't think I did. I didn't. So my Goodreads still says that I'm on page 285, but I'm not. I'm on page 490, so I'm going to put that in now. 79%. Okay. I just like to keep it up to date, so I just wanted to put in that I'd read that section. But yeah, I'm going to read more now. So they both got to the cup and decided to take it at the same time. I feel like this is not going to be over though. It's not going to be over. Something's going to happen. It's not going to be that simple, surely. I just saw something that I don't want to, like, read ahead on. He really died. I'm just checking that my camera works because I literally just dropped it on the floor and it went with a very big bang. It seems to be working okay. I really don't want to have broken it. It says that it's recording, so if you can see this clip, then I haven't broken it, but I am a little bit worried. I was planning to get this book finished before I went back to my dad's, but I am actually quite hungry, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish this book in a little bit. I'm trying to decide whether I should take the other one with me for when I finish this one so that I can start the other one. That means that I'm going to be carrying 2 big books with me because, I mean, what the heck? Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one with me as well. even though I probably will be coming back here tomorrow. And then once I finish Goblet of Fire, I have the option to start Order of the Phoenix even. I've took my lipstick off, which is why my lips look like this, because I've been scrubbing them. Please ignore. And my face is bright red because it's warm. I don't know how much I'll film because all you can hear outside is kids screaming because they're playing in the pool. But I am only like, I think it's like 3 chapters from the end. So I've decided to come back inside because it's quite noisy out there and a little bit chilly because I was sat in the shade. So I'm going to read the rest of my book. Sat here, but my tripod's upstairs, so you're literally balancing on my knee right now. I've got a bug crawling on my book. I just learned that Mad Eye Moody is not all that he seems. Here we go. The final chapter. Finished. At the side of my friend. I am about to put it on Goodreads that I finished this book. I've just put the bookmark back in it just for a second until I take the book upstairs. But yeah, I finished this book and I braved my big book fear. I actually enjoyed it. Obviously I'll do a review at the end of this video like I have been for all of the others, but I did enjoy this book. I still think Prisoner of Azkaban is my favourite though. So that is it for this reading vlog of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now I'm going to give you just my little review like I have been doing at the end of all of these reading vlogs. So in the end I decided to give this book 4 stars, and there were a couple of reasons for that. Obviously going into reading this book I was facing my big book fear, as this is one of the longer books in the series. It's not the longest, but it's one of the longer ones. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed reading this book, and even though it was one of the longer books, I still had a really pleasurable reading experience. I really enjoyed it, and there wasn't a single part of when I was reading this book where I thought, am I going to get to the end of this and how long is it going to take me? I also feel like, as someone who doesn't typically gravitate towards longer books and having big book fear, I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how quickly I actually read this book. It took me a total of about 5 days to finish it, which to some people might be a long time, but when you're not really a big book reader, that's actually quite quick. Of all of the books that I've read in this series so far, Prisoner of Azkaban has been my favourite, and now that I know that that one has been my favourite of the books, I'm kind of questioning, did I enjoy this one as much as that one? And kind of going off of that, because to begin with I was going off of my reading experience of Philosopher's Stone because that one was my favourite, and I was tempted to give this 3 stars, but then when I thought about it I was like, no, I did actually really enjoy it, and I did think this was one of the better of the plots that we've had so far. But that is it for this reading vlog. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Goblet of Fire if you've ever read this book. So don't forget to check out the previous reading vlogs that I have done. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There might be something that you would like to see on a regular basis, especially because we have even more reading vlogs coming up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you liked it, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye guys. Today's reading vlog is going to be for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.